Hello, fringers. The following podcast may not be suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. Look alive, fringers. It's 2099 and we are live and loud in the underground. From the streets to the scar. Keep your chip hidden, your gun loaded, and never trade your soul for souls. Turn it up and let them know Big Brother is watching. Time to put on a show.
Hello, Fringers! Howdy, Winkies and Munchkins. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of Neon Trails, an Identico actual play. I am your game runner, the Caleb G. Please be advised that Neon Trails contains mature themes and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. It is a holiday week here in the States, and while that is usually a fun time, it can also be a little stressful and scary, so take it easy, find some joy, practice some self-care, trust your instincts when it comes to tough choices, spend time with the people that matter, and enjoy everything you can. I enjoy being here tonight with these wonderful people and all of you out in the audience. So let's say hello to our cast that wants you to find them in the western skies. First up, the best way to bring folks together is to get them a real good enemy. It is Mallo playing Sam.
Very true, very true. They are called Republicans. They are the enemy, yes.
Or Nazis.
It's a metaphor.
It's the same thing. Next up, she doesn't give a twig what you think. It's Wild playing B.
Go read some books. I know it might be boring, but go read some books. You'll find your attention span comes back to you. Go read. Listening to them is okay. Audiobooks are okay. Go support your libraries. I love you and I'm happy to see your face. Mwah!
And on that tangent, you know, there's those apps that you can use in conjunction with your library. That
Libby.
gets you and Hoopla. Lots of good free stuff. And most libraries also let you do other stuff more than books. Like you can rent, you can borrow instruments and tools and electronics. And passes to museums and zoos.
And national parks.
Support your local library. He is the one the wizard has been waiting for. It's Pete playing Dog.
Yeah. I want to bring it back to what you said about you represented both the Winkies and the Trundles. And I want to say
so close.
The Winkies and the Trundle War was a really, really big hot topic item. So thank you for representing both.
You're welcome.
That's all I got.
What are Winkies?
If you have to ask, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
Read a book.
Read a book. Go to your local library. Next up, she does not cause commotions. She is one. It's Lauren playing Drall.
Yeah. Hi. Good evening.
That's not even a quote from a movie. That's just true.
Yeah, it's just a fact, actually.
It's just a fact.
Glad you're here. Thanks for being with us. And some additional shenaniganry. Okay, bye.
And unusually and exceedingly peculiar and altogether quite impossible to describe, it is Ethan playing Mox.
Dancing my way through life. They did a really good job with that movie. I'm not even a huge fan of the stage play, but they did quite a good job. Their interviews are awkward as hell. But on the notion of reading books, can I recommend a new series if you want something lighthearted that I think everyone watching the stream would enjoy? Dungeon Crawler Carl. If you haven't read it, it's 7 books. It's not quite a lit RPG, but it's a lot of fun.
Putting it on the list. And now for some housekeeping. Identico is live every other Tuesday on twitch.tv/Identico with episodes of Neon Trails at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Of course, that is a little bit different right now because today is the last episode of Neon Trails for 2024. On December 10th, we will be featuring our traditional Merry Heistmas special, and then we will return with Neon Trails on January 7th. If you want to catch up on previous shows during our downtime, episode archives and other content is available over at youtube.com/Identico. Please subscribe, like, and leave us some comments. Follow us on those socials. Look for us at Identico or at Humanoid Games on whatever social media platform you are using. While you're online, swing over to playidentico.com where you can read the basic core rules for free, find the newest module, The Dark and the Divine, and pick up books, stickers, and other merch to support the show. If you're live with us on Twitch right now, hi, hello, thank you for being here. Spend those channel points for some rerolls and buckle up for the ride. Enjoy the show. Do not forget to check out our show sponsors, More Eggs Dice, for your super slick dice resin needs, and show sponsor Rainbow Dragon Prints for your 3D printing goodies, including fancy dice accessories, fidget toys, and all kinds of other good stuff. Mallo, do you have anything else to add tonight?
Yeah, speaking of books, if you like 1920s mystery with a little bit of mysticism turned in, you can check out Jess Armstrong's new book, The Secret of the Free Fates, the second in the Ruby Vaughn mystery series, coming out on December 3rd of this year. Shameless plug that only got brought up because we started talking about books, and I have a lot of author friends, so I'm going to support them when they got new shit coming out. The first book was fucking fantastic. The second book's going to even be better. Secondly, next week, as Caleb mentioned, is our charity stream.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes, not next week. 2 weeks.
Next episode
is our charity stream. We will be raising money as we do every time for this. This year, we are raising money for the Seattle Area Feline Rescue, or Feline Rescue. It's also called SAFE. They have a very cute and very wonderful t-shirt drive, I think, still going on right now. But as the holidays come around, they have a lot of kittens and things like that in their midst, and a lot of like little kittens. So I'm not allowed to go there because I'll bring like all of them home with me. But instead, all of our subs, bits, donations, and things like that for next episode's stream will actually be going to the Feline Rescue. So buckle in. It's always going to be a crazy fun time for Merry Heistmas, and you get to help out the animals and things like that. So it's like a win-win. What else do you want from this?
Absolutely. That'll be a fun game. With all that taken care of, let's remember what happened last time on Neon Trails. The crew continued to discuss how to handle rescuing Mercury. Everyone agreed that they did not want to rush into danger. They puzzled over why the call for help was not made to the DJs themselves or their allies. Mox pointed out that the crew needed to look beyond their immediate situation and plan for long-term survival, and that meant helping Mercury and maintaining the balance of power in the area. The crew settled on 2 tasks: gathering the necessary intel on where Mercury was being held and locating assistance for the rescue mission. They then dispersed into Solace to think and plan. Dog and Mox discussed their concerns with the situation, to which Mox found comfort through hyper-focused research on the Vegas Fringe. Sam spent time with Elijah and worried that she was getting herself into a similar situation as Galen did in Angel City. Bee found herself in Ferdy's office. While trying to work through the trauma of Ferdy leaving in the midst of chaotic recent events, she found an external hard drive. Contained within was a video from Ferdy apologizing for leaving abruptly without being able to explain more about the bigger picture. There were also files explaining that Solace's purpose was not only to be a central hub for settling the wastes and supporting a community outside of corporate control, but also to collect and preserve accurate data records of everything that happened in the world. Drall returned to her apartment, and after some self-care routines and a nap, started focusing on how to approach the rescue mission. The most accessible resources were Drall's own contacts and the local job board. As she began reaching out to teams she could potentially hire, PB let her know that his research was complete. With the help of Catastrophe, he'd been able to locate where Mercury was being held, an abandoned hospital in the Vegas Fringe. Drall called the crew and told them to meet for breakfast to finalize their plans. And that is exactly where we are starting. It is breakfast time the following morning. I think maybe we are back at the same breakfast spot where we met with PB the other day. So back on that terrace high up on Solace's upper ridge in the canyon. Not a whole lot of people around, but a lot of tech high up above you. Nice and quiet, but still very open to nature and peaceful. I think the shot can open up here. Everyone is gathered around the table. There are pastries and breakfast sandwiches and eggs and bacon and French toast, a couple crafts of coffee and fresh juice, maybe from France, so it's French juice. I don't know. I'm just trying to make up for stumbling over my letters. Everyone is kind of sitting around and talking. On one end of the table, there are some holographic displays up showing kind of that digital yarn wall as plans have started to be made. And, you make a couple plans, you talk about it, you get some food, you come back to it, you throw up an idea. Like, digital Post-it notes are up there with ideas scribbled on them, and there's arrows drawn around all over the place. Central to what's on the display there are the collection of images that PB has found, and some supporting intel as he's continued to gather a little bit of data. So you can see the big hospital there. You can see Steele's guards that are on the walls and walking around it and driving around it in those giant monster trucks. That is where we start. The group is sitting here eating, discussing what to do. Drall has been doing a little bit of research about some potential teams that can be hired. But let's zoom in on that conversation and see what's going on.
I just don't know whether or not we should be the ones going in all the way. I feel like if the option has presented itself, which it definitely has, we should be able to outsource what we need done, and then what we're good at, do that, instead of spreading ourselves extra thin and trying to do too much at once. Focus on one thing and get it done. What do you think?
Mox reaches over to one of the recently deposited coffee mugs. Oh, thank fuck. And pulls this over.
B is gesturing with food on their fork and clearing up a mouthful of food. Well, I guess that means that we'll have to figure out what are we good at, and then figure teams that are good at the other things. And also, I was thinking, if we pull a bunch of groups together, we should, what's that word? Diversify our portfolio of teams to make sure that they're not all from Solus, so that we don't draw these guys back to just us.
I agree.
And look, if the whole reason that we're going to be doing this is because it's good for Solus and good for the whole area, then there should be other fuckers who are willing to help. Especially if the coin is right.
Coin, I play way too much D&D.
If the souls are right. What the fuck are coins? They stopped making those decades ago.
A very long time ago, yes.
Those are them pennies, right? Those pennies that they used to talk about?
Those things are worth 100 souls now.
We should really dig up
dollars.
We should really dig up the floor of the butterfly then, because isn't it made of pennies?
No, that's a myth, right?
I don't know. It just looks.
Is it real?
I don't know. She goes back to sipping a mimosa.
But, Drall, I think that B asked a good question. And that is, what are we good at? Because that's the part we'll do. And then the part that we're shit at, that's the part we'll outsource.
Well, I know what I'm good at, and that's getting information. And she pulls out her glow, which I've already got. So I was thinking we were backwards. Instead of focusing on what we're good at, why not see who's interested, see what they're good at, break that up, and fill the gaps? Here, look. PB, can you? Never mind, I got it.
What? Oh, these French toast is really Frenchy.
It's very Frenchy. You did a good job.
Keep eating. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And she holds up her. She looks at him and she kind of smiles and blushes a little bit, and then she shows her glow. Okay, so I put out a call for assistance. It's not super clear on what was going on. I was just seeing what kind of bites we could get and see where we could work from there based on reputation, rating, things like that. What do you think? And she tosses it onto the table for anyone to grab.
So, you put that information out there, and you can just automatically like flick it over to the main display. Everything's connected and networked together here.
Okay.
So you spent some time researching. This was not just here's the first few people who responded. You did your due diligence, you did your work, you've refined your search, and you've got a collection of some interested parties. Some of them you've worked with in the past, some of them you just know by reputation. Not all of them are like the best of the best. They're not all the worst of the worst. We've got a nice range of people that have expressed interest in this potential job. First off, you've got a team. They call themselves the Rippers. They dress like middle-aged English gentlemen having a midlife crisis in leather jackets and glasses. They tend to be best at like intimidation and extortion. They're kind of like more street thugs. They're more on the smaller side of things, but they're cheap. They're easy to work with. We've got another group that has expressed some interest. They call themselves the Banes. They are all bigger individuals with a lot of enhanced muscles. They favor wrestling masks and singlets. They are experts at demolition. They like doing escort missions, bringing people in and out of places, being the big physical intimidating presence surrounding others. There's another person who has responded, a single individual, usually works alone. They call themselves Warlock. They are that very classic like 1980s goth style individual. They tend to lean into a lot of intel gathering, psychological terror and intimidation. They like observing folks from afar. There's another team out there. These folks are a little bit pricey, but they call themselves the Imagine Dragons. They all dress up in very stylized gear based off of iconic dragons from cultural media in the past. They're very expensive because they demand a lot up front. They don't have a great track record because when they start a job, they tend to just let shit hit the fan and then crank the fan up to 11 and intentionally cause problems. But when they work right, they work really right. But they're, like I said, they're very expensive. There's another single individual that has expressed some interest. He calls himself Draven. He is typically dressed in dark leather, long coats, white makeup, black streaks. He favors jobs that are about infiltration, collecting blackmail at times. He also favors extractions for individuals that need to get out of corpse. Another one popped up on your list. You're really not sure about this one, but they're the kind of guys that just say yes to every single job that pops up because they're those guys. They call themselves Joey's Nuts. They're dude bros. They're just like great dude bros, not toxic alpha males. They're just like really cool dude bros.
Himbos.
Himbos. They're silly boys. They're silly boys. Their main guy is called Joey Donut.
Silly boys.
Joey Donut. His friend Joey Coconut. They made this little gang.
Hey, Joey Bag of Donuts, you know?
They're drivers. They do deliveries. They do transports. They get into the occasional street fight when you need to. And then another group responded to the inquiry. They call themselves the Jellicles. They are a very talented group of hackers. They only ever interact with people, though, on the grid. They never show up in beat space. And their online personas and their avatars are all very much in the vein of a specific musical movie of a feline persuasion that came out several years ago. So these are the people that have responded to you with some positive interest. And you've got some options here. You've got some plans you can do.
What was it that the Shredders specialized in? Was it Shredders? Rippers?
The Rippers.
Rippers. What they specialized in again?
They specialize in just kind of being almost effective at things. They're not great. They're a bunch of old British dudes who just want to be cool.
Cannon fodder. Okay, got it.
Some of them are just dudes pretending to be British. They're good at intimidation. They're good at some extortion, but like they're very low level street thugs if we want to put them in that category. Drall, you have this list put together. You have their overall, rating on the job board, so that you can look at, feedback from previous clients and such. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great. And then you've got a rough idea of their typical costs when being hired. So you can start to gauge out cost and expenses versus their skills. So yeah, you've got some ideas, and we can go from there.
Well, look at this delightful bunch of fucks.
Yeah. Some of them like not that fucking guy. No, not that fucking guy either. But these guys are medium to subpar, and I think that would be good for our causes. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know I'm not looking to have any of us on the front line and be a distraction near a fucking high security, am I wrong? So we're looking for distraction first and foremost, right? Who do we feel? I've got my thoughts, but I think your thoughts are important too.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but as much as I like chaos, I kind of want to stay away from Imagine Dragons.
I don't really hear many good things about that. So good call. I mean, price is wrong, bitch. And she swipes him away.
Oh, hold on. Chaos might be exactly what you need for the distraction element. They don't have to be effective. They just have to be loud and attention-grabbing.
For that price and rating, though?
That's
They're
gonna.
probably gonna die. What? We don't have to pay them.
We don't want the.
That's a good point right there.
No.
I mean, look at their rating.
Don't
Look
we
at what
have-
they're known for. And look at what we'd be asking them to do. What are the odds you're putting on them all making it out alive? Hey,
Yeah, but I feel like ethically we should at least let them know that then.
Oh,
we're
sure. I mean, we can let them know that. Plus,
Plus,
if we get Mercury out, I'm not fronting this fucking bill. You seen the operation he got? Look where we're eating right now.
hey, this is good food. It's a family business.
Look, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying, like, who should be, paying the bill? Within a us.
For real. I mean,
So I don't even know if cost is an issue at this point.
I mean, and let's just say, maybe they pick up something extra for us while they're out there. Like maybe go chase a wild goose and catch it for us, and wild goose. And
So
then,
here- Well, here's an idea. Let's assume, to start, that price is no option, or no limitation. And if we could hire as many of them as we wanted to do whatever we wanted for this job, what would be our ideal setup? Because Warlock and Jellicles look like they would be great at gathering information. The Jellicles could do so online, see what could be found in the grid, while Warlock could possibly infiltrate himself and let us get a layout, how many people are staffed there, what type of defenses, what the patrols are, all of that. Then that's already worth it on its own.
Also, psychological warfare is pretty great.
I don't even know what that would look like, but I'm here for it.
I don't know. But also, if we do the Jellicles, would they be able to help hack while we're infiltrating?
I mean, that would be great, to make sure that systems don't read us going in. Open the doors that we need opened. Turn the security cameras off at a very fortunate time. See? I like this.
you're saying, that amount of money we could get a twofer.
I'm
And a
saying
betterfer.
that amount of money, we can get more for.
Yeah, a morpher. We could just sit on the couch and let these people do it. We don't even got to do it.
Yeah, but then we
I
don't
think
get
that might be
credit.
that might be kind of boring to listen to narratively, but
I feel like that puts a lot on the game master and not much
What
on
am I?
us. Don't you guys think?
what am I saying?
So, question. Okay, so I actually hadn't thought of this particular approach. I thought big loud noise, but anyway, do we need a big loud noise and huge distraction to pull attention, correct?
And then a big loud boom, if needed, to break in. That's what the Banes might be useful. Plus, I mean, if they're demolitions experts, I just want to pick the brains a little bit, and if they are dressed the way that they say they're dressed, I mean, come on, babe.
Hold on. Because we could also get in quiet and then set off the big loud explosion as we leave so that they're not on high alert when we're in there. But
And that will pull focus and potentially not murder the people that we're hiring, which would maybe lower their rate. I mean, because that's going to go up once we tell them that this is suicide.
And
Well, that's kind of not... Okay, all right. Okay.
And we've got Joey's nuts, who are apparently good drivers. They could both be responsible for getting us there and be our escape. Maybe. Just a thought. Or maybe we have our own escape vehicle but bring them along so that there are multiple vehicles all racing away at the same time, so when they pursue us, they won't know which to chase. I think I've seen that in a movie. Maybe Warlock? I mean, that's a cool name. If nothing else, you gotta give him credit for branding. Bring him too! Why not?
Hey, y'all. We overlooked something here. Them Banes, I don't know if you saw, it says they're escorts. Now, there's a reason it's the oldest profession in the human race. Maybe we just can slap some oil on them and nobody's got to fight. They can just go into a room and...
You seen the way they're dressed in those singlets? I mean, their faces are already covered, so they got nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm just saying, maybe a bullet ain't got to get fired out of a gun.
Yeah, we'll just send in the seduction crew, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Isn't it, though?
I'm impressed, honestly, that you would think to this level of it. I
like you. Thank you. So that's what we're going with?
What the... Drall? Want to step in here, boss?
Yeah, I was just like thinking because I really want to listen to everybody's thoughts, and but I'm starting to do the calculation here, and it sounds like we want four sets here. So we're trying to manage 4 outside people and not get involved ourselves.
Oh no, we do the extraction. We just have extra help.
Okay. I'm just I'm trying to make the numbers make sense,
Hold on. What numbers? The price? Again, let's assume they're paying. And if we assume that and we
can assume
strong
it.
enough, it'll happen.
And that's fine.
Hold on, because if we piss all these groups off because we assume somebody else is paying, that's our reputation. And if we make it through this, we're going to want to be able to work with these people again. And word of mouth is huge.
Most important.
And that would have a huge impact on Drall's standing. Since she is now acting as the hiring agent, her reputation on the job boards would be massively impacted from shorting people or not fulfilling her part of the contract. Now, if people accept the job and they suffer as part of the job, they've accepted the job. That's their liability. That's not on you. You wouldn't get a negative feedback if they got hurt in any kind of way or otherwise deceased or injured. That's part of this whole thing. You're telling them what they would get into before this, to an extent. You're not giving them every little piece of information, but that wouldn't be as big a deal.
As she processes this, she just turns white and she steadies herself on the table. I think we should only pay who we need and who we know is we can't risk not being able to help Solace in the future.
Well, I think that we need the Jellicles. The potential of having someone who could get us early information and be pointed out
and
be able to aid us along the way, that's worth the price.
And they're cute as hell. So I think that's it's great.
Do they have the CG buttholes in their whole...
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, by this point in the timeline, that movie has come back around, has been remastered with the buttholes, and it's a collector's edition.
Oh, but would you look at Rum Tum Tugger? Look at that avatar right there.
You get the Jellicles and the Banes, you could have the uncut version.
So I think them, and we probably need at least one other for on the ground. Yeah?
Oh yeah, most definitely. So we're looking for distraction, right? That can't be us. Okay.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Cool. Same page. Same page. Cool.
Good time as a family. Y'all are family.
Fast and Furious 100
Jesus Christ.
in theaters this fall.
Is the O, is it like Fast and Furious, but the IOUS is actually just
That's
100?
the 100. That's the 100.
Yeah.
I prefer Wild Thunder.
I hate it, and it's not even real, and I'm still angry at the franchise. It doesn't even exist, and it's still making me angry at the franchise.
90% of the budget goes to Dwayne Johnson.
Well, yeah.
He's not even in it.
Well, yeah. Well, while we're finishing up the details,
Mox reaches down to a backpack-looking thing he'd brought with him and pulls something out, and it's a very beaten-up vinyl cover because it's probably like 80 years old. Very, very, very beaten up, but you can still see the faded graffiti-style black writing at the top of it that says My Chemical Romance. And sets it, like slides it over to you, Drall.
I remember you mentioning you, for some reason, like them. So I asked around, and I know that there aren't many vinyl players anymore. They're still working on that part. But you've stepped up. We've all been in a bit of a hole for the past little while. And you've taken everything that's been thrown at you, and you've immediately gotten to work on it. And yeah, it's a vinyl. You like the band, yeah. That we don't have to make a big deal out of it. That's all, you know. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Don't make a big thing out of it. If I hadn't bought
I'm
it,
not.
I'd be
I'm
able
not.
to afford
Okay,
another one of the teams.
Fuck this
You know,
thing, you
Probably blew
ass.
some of our budget on that.
Oh,
So
oh.
I didn't know at the time we were gonna need a budget.
Speaking of, so these three, we're good? Everyone else can back burner? Yeah? You want me to reach out? Get the ball rolling. More details?
It's fine. Let's leave a good plan. Go to wait.
So we could,
Yeah.
just looking at the resources,
Out of character. If we wanted, we still have enough resources to hire either the Warlock or Draven as well if we were doing the Banes,
Yes.
Jellicles, and Joeys.
Yes.
That leaves us some resources left.
I would definitely vote that. Yeah.
The Warlock does have a much higher rating and a
Yes.
lower cost.
Yes. Yes.
But he's not dressed like Eric Draven.
That's okay. We
That's
can dress him up
true.
like Eric Draymond. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Can we
can put that in
require
the
it? I mean,
contract.
it's pretty close. It would be pretty close. So,
New requirement for job.
Of course.
okay. I will. And let's add a.
Oh,
no, we can write them after and see if that's something that they do offer. Yeah, we can talk about that at a different time. Let's focus on this job first, and then, babe, we can talk. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Private event.
Yeah, celebration afterwards.
Yeah.
Look how dehydrated they are. You know they'll get drunk fast.
Yeah.
And then see what happens.
That's a good point.
that's
Babe,
really
I've
not
been
a bad
imagining
idea.
that for the last, 5 minutes.
Clear. I love it. All right, so we've got a plan. Do we want to reach out and contact some of these folks to confirm some of these contracts?
Yup.
I do have one more question in character. I just want to know, do any of these other teams that we're going to be working with, do they have experience with corpos? or this corporation? Can we ask them before we start this, or would that be too much of a tip-off?
So, to partially answer that question, Drall would know that most of these teams have only operated out in the wastes. That being said, individuals on teams have their own variety of knowledge and skills and backgrounds and experience. Most people in this part of the country have a cursory knowledge and exposure to life in corporate plexes. Individual team members may have more or less of that knowledge, but very few, if any of these, would have zero comprehension of a specific corporation or a plex. If anything, they have that content in their brain through, just the cultural zeitgeist of knowing who's who and what's what.
I would make an assumption that they would agree. Well, I guess I could just put in there. Would I know which groups would be okay with pursuing something that would bring them under Corpo I?
I'm going to say that tentative clause was part of your initial request. So by skimming through the replies, where we are at, these are people who are willing to accept the nature of the job to the extent at which you have explained it, which is in broad, vague terms, but still enough to know that they would be doing something in the fringes of the Vegas Corp, the Vegas Plex.
Oh, fantastic. Past me is so good. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so I think it'd be fine. There was a little tinge I mentioned, so I think it would be fine. So should I send it all up?
Let's go.
Yep, let's do it.
Yes!
All right. So, do you want to place a call to any of these folks, or just send a full contract over? That look, I'm sorry.
The phone.
Yeah, we can totally do a call if you want. It's fine.
Should we do like a group interview where they all have to talk on video chat at once for us all to watch them?
Why did I bring that up? That was stupid of me. Let's just move on.
Oh, no,
That came back to bite me real fast.
no.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Yeah, you threw out that bait.
I walked into that one, didn't I? All right, so let's from an execution standpoint here, let's summarize what we're doing here. So we wanted to hire the dragons to be distraction on the ground, right?
Yes.
We wanted to have the Jellicles providing some both intel gathering and support while you as a group are going in to do the extraction while the distraction is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Joey's nuts are going to be actually driving, or a secondary escort team / which car are they really in kind of thing. A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I would think they would dip in both ponds.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were doing the Banes instead of Imagine Dragon to be able to afford it all, because the Imagine Dragons are 10 by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we were doing, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I thought we were doing the Banes for on-the-ground distraction with demolitions and all of that. Warlock, Angelicals for both on-the-ground information gathering and grid, and then Joey's Nuts for car work. Was I wrong? Because I think that equals 20 out of 20 on the nose. I'm happy to get more resources if the GM wants, but...
Well, I think if we need some more resources, we would probably have to negotiate with some of these people about their costs.
Like the Imagined Dragons.
Certainly an option.
We could offer them future work if it works out well.
Could offer them exposure.
That would just pay them an exposure.
We could offer.
Look at how they're dressed. They want the exposure. They're all dressed as dragons.
Dog will give them some exposure.
Keep your belt on.
Which group isn't dog horny for? It's a shorter list.
Yeah.
Just the rippers.
The tea drinkers.
All right, y'all. So what are we wanting to? What's the move then?
Like I said, we'll talk about that as an afterward thing.
I
What do
think
you
we
all
need
think?
someone to make an executive decision. Dog will look over a draw. Like seduction.
Drall, do we try to include Imagined Dragons? Or do we stick with Warlock, Jellicles, Joey's Nuts, and Banes? Your call.
I think Imagine Dragons is too well known. They're going to immediately see them and know that they're part of some bullshit. Anyway. And I don't know.
Too much exposure.
I don't know that I can make the numbers work. It just makes more sense if we can get that job done. As long we don't need a high grade distraction, we just need a distraction. Anything to get eyes off of us and off of who we're working with. So I would say, as much as I'm a huge fan of their work, truly, I think what they do is fantastic for all involved. But I just don't think the numbers work for Imagine Dragons. Let's bring in a fuck. I even do the Rippers. A fucking whichever, guys. I just don't think we can make Imagine Dragons work.
I like it. Good budgeting. Yeah.
Because I'm gonna want snacks, guys. We're gonna want snacks.
Yeah, we gotta eat, y'all. Which is why you gotta seduce them.
Well, we can talk about that a little later, I guess.
Oh, sorry, I was too eager.
No, it's okay.
Seduce them if you want to. I mean, you don't have to. It's dumb plan. Y'all wouldn't want to do that anyway. Stupid plan. Y'all always want to do what I don't want to do what I want to do.
Seduction it is, guys. Absolutely.
I think
Plans are
that we
handled.
should do it. Just have like an after extraction celebration if they're into it, you know?
It will, in fact, be distracting on a high grade scale.
Yeah.
And obscure.
I'm just gonna throw it out here. What if all them guards are dudes and what if all them guards are gay? They're gonna be hella
And
distracted.
can I throw in another additional benefit? It'll be so much more fun to watch the GM roleplay that than
I'm
blowing
just saying.
something up from like a mile away.
The way God intended.
Hold on, guys, because out of any of us, I can attest to how seducing the enemy of a very powerful group kind of brings some shit down on our heads last time. So maybe we don't do that again. Just, saying from experience.
Well, what the fuck does experience really teach you? I mean, honestly, everything's a new moment.
Awful things. Where's Ferdy?
What?
Okay.
I said, go ahead.
I rescind my suggestion.
Babe, we'll do it. We'll do it later, babe. Don't worry. All right. I'll send them a private DM.
Okay, just make sure I know about it. Otherwise, it's fishy.
All right, so it sounds like we have a good plan here. As this plan has been created and debated and finalized around the breakfast table here, you all start, now that you have all the information you need, you have all the pieces of the puzzle, you start really trying to assemble the details of what you're going to do. So the rest of the day, for the next couple hours at least, is much more tactical. It is actually planning who's going to go where, talking to these different groups, confirming their contracts, getting the details finalized as everything is put together. How quickly do you want to do this? Do you want to head out today and hit tonight? Do you want to go the next day or the day after? Like, what's the time frame we want to act on?
I mean, when can they mobilize? 'Cause it feels kind of like a dire situation. Yeah, like, we don't know how contentious their relationship might be, and whether or not he's being tortured might mean, like, life or death on how fast we go. On the flip side, they might be drinking mimosas around a weird fireside den thing with corpo bots flying around, so I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Probably
But
good to
Juno-
assume the first one.
Yeah, Juno wasn't looking too good from what Dog was saying, so
Have anyone heard anything else from her?
whatever her name is.
What if we tried getting back in touch with her?
Call her back.
I mean, it's either gonna be her who answers, it'll be busted, or there'll be someone else who answers, and that's interesting too.
If somebody else answers, maybe I should wear a mustache when I call.
Do a really deep voice too, you know, like the sky's yours.
Yeah. Hey, it's me.
That's really doing it for me, though.
Don't.
Trust me, it did it for me too. That's why we're here.
Is Quinn still a thing here?
Focus. It's me, I'm not Dog.
Don't open with "I'm not dog." Oh, please, don't open with that.
For
Maybe I call my. Put on some shades with the mustache.
the opposite. It's the opposite. This will be fine.
It's me, God. It's Polish.
I am 100% for this plan.
I feel I feel as much as I want that scene to play out for the sake of it playing out, I also feel like trying to contact Janice back already happened and it went nowhere. That's something PB and Katassi would have done early on as part of their initial research, and not only could they not contact the glow, but also it just didn't exist. Like, zero ping on the grid, which was part of the whole like blackout situation that's been going on.
Thank goodness. I was going to be embarrassed.
I was gonna be embarrassed.
Ooh.
So we are gonna act with some urgency, it sounds like. It is a few hours drive away. Are we gonna take the Winnebago?
I mean, do we have any other choice? Is the Winnebago a little hot right now?
I mean, it's good to go.
It does have all that information from the DJ's territories on there.
Mm-hmm.
if they know where Shreddy is, maybe they've seen something about the Winnebago.
That's a good point.
I have a quick out of character question, and that is,
Sure.
you remember how we loaded up on armor before and weapons before the season finale? We still have those weapons?
Yes.
Hot damn!
That didn't go anywhere.
Sweet.
The game render handed you the keys to the kingdom and was a little bit negligent with that. So here we are. It's fine.
And my history as a power gamer immediately unveiled itself.
In a meta sense, Dog's gonna have to rummage through the garbage bin to find his equipment. Because the new character sheets.
So, you can, as a crew, spend the next few hours. You've made the plans. You can hurriedly get all your gear together, load it into the Winnebago, make sure everything is ready to run. You're loading up. A lot of the finer details of the plan with these other teams can also be confirmed and finalized while you are on the road, since it is a little bit of a drive out there. So what we will do here is we will pick up as it is not it's not the middle of the night, but night has fallen by the time you are getting to where you want to go. You've got plans in place with the other crews, with the other teams. We are going to mechanically carry out this plan here with an ongoing skill challenge like we have done before. Prior to starting that, I would like Mox to give me an underworld check.
It's gonna be bad. 10.
So, prior to that breakfast meeting, when you were dealing with kind of some of the stress and tension of what was going on, you really dug into the Vegas Fringe, trying to get some intel, trying to get some information. None of this was specific to the plans that were made, because this was all prior to that. You were just trying to satisfy your curiosity and your ongoing worry by just familiarizing yourself with the Vegas Fringe.
Stress researching.
Exactly. So what we've seen here is, while you're not intimately familiar with the city, you do have a pretty passable working knowledge of ins and outs of the Fringe, good places to go when you're trying to approach the city to avoid some of the guards. While the Fringe itself is not patrolled like the Plex is, there are still security checkpoints. It's not like you have a free pass to know how to get through them, but you're very familiar. You're not a native of the city, but you're doing pretty good. So as you, as a crew, are entering the footprint of the Vegas Plex, I'm assuming Sam is driving?
That's an interesting question. Who would be driving now?
B has a pretty... I was checking my character sheet. B has a pretty high driving skill.
And B was doing a lot of driving with Galen.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so B is driving. Who is riding shotgun? Is it Drall? Is it Mox?
Not Mox.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, so B and Drall are up in the cockpit. You approach the footprint of the Vegas Plex. you've driven past other plexes before. You've been in other plexes before, or most of you have. The Vegas Plex is ridiculous. It is over the top lights and shows and fancy, flashy showing off. Like all plexes have a degree of creating this elite society that the rich and wealthy and influential live in, that the corps paint with their brands and logos and promotions. The Vegas Plex is something totally different. From miles away, the light pollution is bleeding into the night sky. And as you get closer, it is just a constant cavalcade of conflicting messages being like projected up in the clouds, promoting shows, promoting singers, promoting experiences, promoting products you can buy, restaurants you can go to. Basically, you've just got commercials playing in the sky as you're getting closer to it. The Plex itself, from a distance, is just a big mass of light on the horizon, brighter than most other Plexes, because as you get closer, every building is lit up as bright as can possibly be. It is even beyond the typical chrome and glass and neon of other Plexes. Vegas is just, cranked to 11.
Caleb, are you suggesting that Vegas is ostentatious?
You're getting what I'm putting down. Thank you.
This truly is fiction.
So imagine the casinos in Vegas on the Strip now, but all of them raised to the top of skyscrapers and to the size of multiple city blocks. The Luxor pyramid is now a skyscraper pyramid. It's even bigger. The lights, it still has the big light thingy up at the top. There's multiple casino hotel complexes that have like roller coasters hanging off the side of them, so you're hanging upside down. There's zip lines going all over the city. There's raised trains and trams zipping all over the place. Yes, dog.
Did the orb survive?
The orb is now a hovering sphere that orbits the city that you can ride inside or on top of.
So Vegas is like a planet now.
Planet Vegas.
Dang. Hey.
There was actually a very bitter war fought between Planet Vegas and Planet Hollywood at one point. Casualties are still being totaled.
Oh, yes, I remember that battle.
Like the Winkies and the Chodes in that war.
There were DVDs flying everywhere. Chaos.
The fringes of the Vegas Plex are, of course, not as ostentatious as the city itself, but the remains are still there. The evidence is still there. The neon graveyards are inhabited by tent cities. Old stages from shows that have been canceled and discontinued have just been tossed out and repurposed. Some of them as living spaces, some of them as stages for culture out in the fringe, like to do their own little shows. Some have been reclaimed for that type of thing. The fringe here in Vegas is just like the fringe in every other Plex that you've been to, but it still has that edge of showmanship and sophistication, and we're in Vegas, so Vegas things happen. There are still Even in the Fringe, there are still shows, there are still casinos and bars and that type of cultural adventure to be had. It's just, a different version of it. So you're taking all of this in, you're processing all of this. It's a lot to handle. On top of that, you are also getting some feedback from these other groups that are waiting for your go signal and also kind of giving you the updates of what they are doing and what's going on. As you've been driving, at one point, some of the Joey's Nuts cars were like racing alongside of you and then like racing up ahead and waiting for you to catch up and then falling behind because they're just goofing around. They're just cool buddies.
Sand dolphins.
But they have been distributed. They have been handed off and given a specific task as you are getting closer. Given what Mox was able to obtain ahead of time, given the collaboration with the Jellicles and PB's programming support, and of course support from Solace itself, you are able to enter the Fringe without any problem. No security teams have stopped you or noticed you, and you're just driving through town like you own it. You know where you're going. You've got the location from PB.
Mox just has a transparent overlay of the map that the Jellicles were able to get just on his watcher. As driving, just sticking head up between the driver and passenger.
Be sure to take a ride up here.
And I think at more than one point during this drive, on the heads-up display in the Winnebago, the cat people avatars from the Jellicles pop up doing some little dance moves and choreography of go this way, avoid this area, highlighting things to this is a danger area, doing their little thing.
Again.
Rum Tum Tugger and Mephistocles are giving you go this way, go that way kind of thing. So they're all right there for you.
Yeah, when Rum Tum Tugger and the magical Mr. Mistopheles come on his watcher, Mox kind of goes
all right, they've got him for bed. Get the fucking rest of them off here.
Sometimes they're just kind of sitting there, perched up, wagging their tails, lashing them back and forth, waiting for the next thing to happen.
So Mox is just constantly in a half squint where it looks like one of his eyes is spasming.
But you get closer to the abandoned hospital towards your location. And just to take a step back and confirm here real quick, what we are wanting to do is have the Banes create a large-scale distraction to try to pull some of the guards away so that you can infiltrate to find Mercury with the assistance of the Jellicles and Warlock's information. And then when it's time to make the escape, your fellow drivers from Joey's team can create more distractions on the road. Solid.
I think that's it, yeah.
Solid. So
can I just ask that someone do this, because Mox wouldn't? Can someone please ask the Banes to make sure that the distraction involves minimal civilian casualties? They are demolitions experts, and they're fucking probably not all there. Someone else do it. Mox isn't thinking of it.
Hey, what do you have against demolitions experts?
I am one. That's why I know we're fucking nuts.
I feel like that was probably part of Drall's negotiation and planning with them over the last few hours of the drive.
Just making sure that it was explicitly stated.
Yep. So
Don't do murder.
don't do murder.
Please?
Well, but they can
right.
do murder, but only certain people.
Like the bad guys.
Yeah, right. Yes.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to kick this off. You are waiting in the wings. You have given all of your teams that you have hired their instructions. And you are in that moment of, okay, it's all about to go. I've told them to go. And there's like that moment of calm before the storm. Everyone is kind of anticipating what's about to happen, waiting for it actually to take off. As you are sitting there, you hear a dull kind of thump of something being launched, and then a little bit of a whistle, getting closer and closer, and then above the hospital there is that kind of boom of a kind of like a firework going off, but much closer and much bigger. As something explodes in the sky over the top of the hospital, and then rapid fire, like another boom, 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 and the kind of like the east wing of the hospital is now completely illuminated with something exploding in the sky over it and pouring down. Like, you know those fireworks that when they explode, like they and they like cascade down through the sky? Yeah, those. That's what's happening, only as it cascades down and hits the hospital, it's all still burning, and it's just kind of like cascading streams of fire pouring out of the sky and water falling down over the hospital building. So that is happening, and the Bane said it was one of those you'll know it when you see it kind of thing. So you've seen it, you know it. So they have started their assault. The guards that are nearest you are immediately reacting. You notice though that while many of them do run off, not all of them are leaving their posts. So what we have done here is we have pulled the large majority of them away from you. There is an opening to approach the west wing of the hospital on foot. There are no guards in your immediate area, but you know, based on your intel and the surveillance that's being done, not all of them are gone. So from a mechanical standpoint, as we are moving forward here, we will do this as an ongoing skill challenge. So we're not rolling initiative, we're not taking combat turns or anything like that. But as you are physically engaging with this encounter, moving into it, I want you to narrate and navigate and tell me what you are doing with that big narrative control and agency. Take over the scene, explain to me what you're doing. We will figure out what skill check most defines that. This does not have to be I do a thing and we make a check. It is I do a series of things and we find the check that kind of encompasses all of that. You also have the ability to just call in an assist from the people that you have hired, essentially using their skills to do things as you narrate, and
I love it,
adding it into what you were doing or replacing what you were doing instead. We do have a limited amount though of attempts that we can call them in on, which was based on what you paid them. So that is where we are. Does anybody have somewhere that they would like to start to go first?
Is it cool if I start?
Absolutely.
So, Mox would actually like to team up with Warlock and make use of this Gauss sniper rifle that
sure.
I have and be assisting from a different space or a different building while having Argos go with the main group.
Okay.
So being able to use Warlock to help watch my back and find good new perches, use Argos to give me live information about things I can't see on the inside while active camoed, and then utilizing the sniper rifle to take out threats from the outside and things through the walls because it has a 3.5 mile range.
Absolutely. So, as you are kind of setting that up and moving into position, first off, you are being fed information from Warlock via your glow.
It's so cool.
All of the messages that come in have like little animated bats like following along with them, like the message bubble that pops up on a text. Like some of the corners have like an animated like dripping ooze like wrapping over one of the corner. Warlock's all about vibes.
Edgy, we get it.
All of his messages are very much in that style of like late night goth TV host showing old movies, old campy horror movies.
So like puns, like are we talking Crypt Keeper and Elvira style, like puns based off of what's happening?
Yeah. Which, as a performer, I made a mistake because I can't pull those puns out of my mind very well. I can't do those on the spur of the moment.
I see someone 3 stories up. They look well equipped. We should try to get on their level.
Exactly.
I hate him, but I love him at the same time.
So, So as you are setting this up and the team moves forward, Argos is moving with them as well. And of course you are getting live footage fed back to your watcher directly from Argos as that is going on. What we are going to do here is I'm going to call for a perception check. So I would like you to make that based off of your skill, and then I will add a modification to that.
Trying to remember which heading perception is under. There it is. 19.
Nice. Perfect. So as you have set yourself up, as you are seeing kind of all of this information being fed to you, you are able to pick off a couple of Steel's guards kind of in advance. Like you're able to figure out what route the crew is taking. So you are like preemptively eliminating targets along the way.
You'll just come along a body that has one insanely large bullet wound in it, or at least exit wound, I would imagine.
While that is going on in the background, you hear a firefight erupt, and you're getting a little bit of feedback from the Banes that they are engaging with Steel's troops and continuing to keep this distraction going. So whatever their plan is, whatever they're actually doing, they are trying to continue to pull focus as this is going on. Who would like to add something next?
So Sam has already been walking down towards where in this hospital where we roughly believe that he is at. It's just really more of a matter of who's going with her. Because she heard extraction and then, without Rav, just decided to put on armor, grab a shotgun, and start walking that way. Or the Sweet Sweeper, actually, more than that. Because she did have to change when she left Angel City.
Should we do some rock, paper, scissors?
Sure.
There's benefits to either you or I going, Drall. I don't know what Dog's feeling, but
I mean, keep it. I could go. We just gotta keep it down. Don't let Mox know. You know what they say? If Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
huh?
It is. You must. It's a marriage thing. We don't need everybody, but Dog, if you would, do you want to come, Dog?
Yeah, I feel safe with you.
Okay. Drall, B. Maybe somebody should be back here just in case for when we come screaming, running out with him, and then we need to leave really quickly. But
What do you want me to do? Like, I'm not usually I'm not usually at this part. You know, I'm not usually at this part. So,
I mean, if you want to drive, can you kind of drive?
I could potentially, yeah. I mean, I can kind of drive. I'm not sure I can drive. Yeah, I can do it. I got it. I can team up with maybe one of those broskies over there can come over here and friggin'.
Okay, if you're gonna bring one of those broskies over, I need to show you these 3 things in the front before you decide to have anybody up there, because this is important.
Okay, I got it. You can trust me. I can do this.
All right, B's gonna run through the cockpit really quick and then throw on armor that looks as similar to Sam's as possible. Put on their punchy gloves and get their bow and walk on out. You be careful with her. She's touchy. The Windy Bagel. She's special.
Okay. And I know. Don't worry. I got this. And you got this.
So
right,
Sam is just going to go running off then with this crew, hoping that the ducklings are following her.
All right. Give me a little bit about what you were doing here. So Mox has your back. He's kind of leading your approach, eliminating some targets. You can hear the firefight like echoing. Imagine, every abandoned hospital from a horror movie, right? Mm-hmm. Everything's dark. The lights are flickering at most. Everything is a little bit grimy. There's broken stuff everywhere. There's piles of, gurneys and equipment and beds that have been tossed out. Clearly, people have been living here, squatting here. Rooms have been used for a variety of things that were definitely not their original intention. Some of which have left remains and mess. Some of it wholesome and some of it not so wholesome. Yeah, I don't know what I was implying with that. I don't know. Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. It's super gross. Let's just say it's gross. So you are running through this terrible location, echoing down the halls. You can hear the gunfire and the explosions, the ongoing firefight from the Banes and Steele's troops. Every once in a while, you kind of hear kind of radio chatter of Steele's troops being like, oh, move to this hallway or move over here. It's not enough to act on. It's not enough to give you any information or insight, but it's just ongoing and what's ongoing in the environment.
So essentially we're going to have to just sweep and clear as we go.
Okay.
Hopefully on the side of the hospital that Mox can support.
Mox can adjust.
Right, but yeah, but there's a time amount from you to get to one block to the other kind of thing. And then where's the warlock guy at again?
One of the things the reason the Banes started on the East Wing and that you are focused on the West Wing, the intel that PB was able to obtain indicated that while Mercury was being kept underground, the best entrance was through the west. So you're in a good spot. Warlock is assisting currently by providing a second set of eyes for Mox, kind of being an additional spotter.
And then Argos is running around on the inside somewhere with us. We don't know because he's got the app account.
Yeah, he's with
right.
them.
Yeah.
You're aware that he's with you, but he's popping in and out of stealth.
Yeah,
so
he can go farther faster, so.
Right, exactly. So every once in a while then you will also get the feedback in your glow from Argos, like a little message saying like, don't go down this hallway or something like that. So you've got a pretty clear line of sight, but you're not like, it's not like you have a dotted line to follow, if that makes sense.
Okay. So we start then at this point we're gonna start sweeping, clearing, checking corners as best we can. And she's trying to like give like not military, but like very clear like instructions to be like, nope, don't go around that corner that way, go around this way. You know, or you check that room kind of thing.
Okay. Can you give me a tactics check?
If I put it on the thing, yeah. There it is. That's a 9.
That's a 9.
Yeah.
That's okay. So Sam is very used to combat. Sam is used to how to clear a room, how to be safe, how to protect her teammates, provide support. She's not as used to doing it in her meat body, but that's okay. The skills still apply. But you're also more used to doing it with skilled combatants. And the friends you're with now are eager and willing, but sometimes a little too eager. So a lot of what Sam is doing is like pulling them back from running into what would probably be an ambush or running into a potentially dangerous situation. So your progress is slow, but you are still moving ahead without too much trouble. Who would like to add something next?
Dog just getting occasional running commentary.
Holy fuck, that one's head exploded like a watermelon. Jesus.
Get him, babe. Get him.
Every once in a while, you do hear that, like subsonic, and then a smash as something collapses or explodes somewhere in the building.
I just want to imagine like one of those times Dog hits like a hanging fire extinguisher or something like that, and we got to duck for our lives kind of thing.
Shit, sorry. My bad. That was on me. Can't win them all.
Christ, no wonder Galen died.
It's not even human shaped.
We didn't have to bring smoke grenades.
I have Molotovs, but none of those. B is gonna be emulating Sam to the best of their ability.
Mm-hmm.
In every mannerism and like all of the demeanor, and it's just like as serious and most determined and wholeheartedly as possible, but it's gonna be like watching a toddler imitate their parent. Because it's B.
As you all are moving forward, is B like eagerly trying to jump the gun and get to where they are going, or is she more about following and staying behind and trying to cover Sam?
Well, because of the Galen incident, I'm pretty sure B is going to be trying to cover Sam as best as possible.
Okay. While B is doing that, what do you have Umbra doing?
Umbra is going to be kind of like leapfrogging, going up a little bit, checking, seeing, going back, checking, seeing, just kind of like orbiting around our group.
Cool.
And also letting us know if there's any technology that we've missed that we need to relay back to the Jellicles to get interfered with or tampered with.
Cool. Could you give me an electronics check?
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad I have a higher score in that. I got a 16.
Nice.
That's 11 plus 5.
All right, so and Umbra's updates are all coming through your glow, right? You don't have a watcher or anything, if I remember correctly.
No watcher.
Do you have like a heads-up display on like cyber goggles or something, maybe?
Probably a wrist-mounted.
Cool.
Like, glow. It's probably not like a watch, but it's a handmade, homemade.
Yeah.
You know.
I love that.
It's fashioned after the one that Sam's got on her wrist.
Just mysteriously, same color combination.
just whack that together.
I want to imagine that Sam and B like do this, and it does the like hologram pop out, kind of like Boba Fett's thing does for a minute, and they're like in synchronous, like doing it, like.
But not watching each other. It's just going to be one of those like.
Yeah. Dog is just like watching, like it's like watching synchronized swimming for him right now.
So you have floor plans of the hospital. Once the location was able to be found, it was super easy to track down the actual floor plans. Now, you don't know what's changed over time. You don't know what's actually happening. You don't know, like I said, you don't have a dotted line to Mercury's holding cell, but you do have a generic map of the building. So as you are walking through, you are kind of filling in and building that map. So B, when you are looking at your wrist display, when Umbra is feeding you intel, all of that is kind of turning into a more fully realized picture. And some of the stuff you get from Umbra, you're kind of like detailing and labeling, like, okay, this is a collapsed hallway. I can't go this way. This hallway is blocked off. It's open through here. So that's kind of what you're doing. And all of that is then being fed to the rest of the group. And PB is kind of playing watcher here. So he's synced into everyone's feed, observing what everyone is doing, and on his end, like he's the one like pulling the maps together as different video feeds are coming in, like this is what we see over here and this is what we see over here. Like he's creating this amalgamated view in real time of where you're going and what you are doing, trying to give you as much chance of success here as possible. What would anyone else like to add as we continue here?
With the view from the outside and Warlock,
yeah,
would I be able to look and see if I could notice any signs from the outside that might indicate where Mercury is being kept? Maybe windows that appear to be, barred, or any type of sign, extra security measures there?
I would love an investigation check to get you that answer.
Well, it's an 18 on the die.
Oof.
And it's an 18 in total.
You can't roll a 0, so.
I mean,
18, and with Warlock's help, that's a lot higher.
gee, rub it in. Rub it in.
Hey, you paid for the assistance.
That's true. Thank you very much, Warlock, you brooding bastard.
Beautiful, beautiful, brooding bastard.
The intel from the grave is sometimes the best one you can find.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Swoon.
So, prior to starting this operation, PB felt like Mercury was definitely being held underground, somewhere in the basement of the hospital. Information that was available indicated that Mercury had been brought to the hospital, and it was obviously much more secure underground. So just kind of logic and common sense dictated that. With the program he was able to create with Katassi's help, being able to kind of look at the building from the outside, very much that Dark Knight cell phone technology kind of thing. It's not like he could look into every window, but creating that view from drones, doorbell cams, CCTVs, traffic cams, that kind of thing. It's not like he saw a room where someone was strapped to a chair. So that supported the theory that Mercury was downstairs. Based off of that, based on this evolving, living map of
Say that last bit again, Caleb.
Oh, this what did I just say? This evolving real-time map of data that is being created. I don't remember things I say when they come out of my mouth. They cease to exist. That's why we record these things. You are able to see that there is clearly a group of guards internally stationed at elevator shafts and at their associated stairwells. So again, this is supporting the knowledge or the theory that they are stationed there to prevent people getting down, prevent people from coming back up. Makes perfect sense. As all of this is going on, you do get a couple of pings that there seem to be internal sensor equipment in the hospital that, while they are not currently active, could potentially be activated or hacked into. So that's a piece of information you have found. As you are investigating the situation, continuing and kind of guessing and working with all these other voices that you're collaborating with, you are fairly sure that while there are a couple different access points to the lower levels of the hospital, one specifically seems to be much more traveled. And this is PB kind of extrapolating views from the past of like these outside cameras looking in of, oh, okay, here's where there was more traffic of the guards changing more regularly. Here's where there was traffic of one of the other guards bringing coffees, bringing food, that kind of thing, like people trading off to take bathroom breaks. The other ones didn't have that much in and out traffic of maintained security forces, if that all makes sense to you. So working backwards, kind of extrapolating, if the centralized focus is at this one specific stairwell, that's probably the most direct route to where Mercury is.
I will convey the information about the stairwell and the number of people that I saw monitoring each stairwell and elevator, and I will also then get in touch with the Jellicles let them know about the hospital sensors and ask them
Okay.
to get on that.
Cool. So the Jellicles are going to scamper in a mystical, magical, cat-like fashion, trounce off, exit stage left with some great choreography, bounce back onto the stage, bounce back off the stage. We'll be right back after this chorus. That kind of thing. They're very theatrical. They love this kind of thing.
Let's all
and
go to the lobby.
they are set off on this task.
Jesus.
Can we get to... So first of all, can we get to this stairwell without engaging anybody?
Based off of everything we have established so far, yes.
Okay.
You are able to, with the assistance of Mox picking off people as we go, with some lucky explosions, like, surprising you through a window of what the Banes are doing outside. Even once or twice, Warlock being like, "Oh, there's a guard right there," like, shoot him, like that kind of thing. Like, you're able to get there. That you engage in a couple little firefights here and there, but it's not monumental. None of you take any kind of damage beyond what your armor can handle. Like, nothing is as chaotic as what happened in the caves. Like, this is just like a couple shots here and there. In the heat of battle, you're moving forward. You are able, Sam.
This kids is why you should have Overwatch, not the video game, but people looking out for you.
Right. Sam, this is something you're very comfortable with. This is very natural. Again, you're not super used to doing it in your meat body, but you're not completely unable to handle yourself in your meat body because you had lots of fights in your past before you hooked yourself into a robot. So this is all muscle memory. You are able to get to a point like the end of a hallway. Like one of those long hallways in a hospital where there's like a nurse's station. So a couple hallways dump into it, and it's a big open area. So you are coming out of a hallway. There's this big open area in front of you. There's a couple other hallways, and you can see across the way and a little bit to the left. That's where like the stairwell and the elevators are. And some of the walls have been knocked down. Some of the desks have been tipped over and barricaded. You can see the guards. None of them are responding to you. None of them have said, "Oh my God, there's someone." Like, you're fairly certain, especially with all of this Overwatch, that you are undercover right now. But you can see your objective. You can see your targets.
Okay. But if I move out and start running towards them or anything like that, I'd be out of cover at that point, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I can't duck around the nurse's station kind of thing or anything like that.
So you could, if you wanted to, you could do that. Yes, there's a clear line of open hallway that you could run screaming down. You could move very slowly and tactically from cover point to cover point. It's the approach you want to take narratively. It's mechanically what skills you would use to make either of those two things happen.
Well, then because she's only got an LMG on her right now, so like the best thing to do is to just kind of lean peek the corner and just start opening up down lane, because they can't dodge very well with that, especially on a
That's
surprise
fair.
attack. So
That's fair. So your overall intent here is to just start like picking them off, trying to pull them out of cover a little bit, kind of thing.
and pin them down, because if Dog and Bee can start to kind of like move up and around and things like that,
Sure.
they don't have to do it stealthily. They just don't have to get in front of my bullets.
So what you want to do is keep the focus of Steel's guards where you are,
Suppressing fire.
suppressing fire, so that Dog and Bee can be moving closer to where you want them to go. Okay, cool. So I want you to do another tactics check, but add to that, in addition to your tactics, modifier, I want you to add your skill modifier in your weapons that you're using. Because you're both attacking and doing this tactical plan that we're letting play out over or multiple minutes here.
That's good, because I have no tactics bonus, so thanks you weaponry thing, because that's a 19.
Nice.
And as she like turns the corner, she turns to look back at both you, Bee and Dog, and she just goes, "When I tell you to run, you run, and you run over there. When I tell you to run over there. I'll stop shooting long enough, or you can duck under bullets. Your choice."
So I almost kind of see that as you took a look at the map that is being created in real time for you right now, and you kind of highlighted the cover points. And you're like, okay, when I say go, you go to this cover point, and then when I say stop and go, you go to this cover point, like that kind of thing almost.
Yeah, and if all else fails, Argos can just bum rush them and start like tackling them to the ground. Like, we got options.
Okay, but also we have peaceful Molotovs with us as well.
You run through fire?
No, I'll just distract them with the Molotovs.
No, they shoot back. They don't get if fighter over here and they over here, they won't go to fire. They just keep shooting.
Oh, I was gonna just aim at their heads.
Right, but where are
That's
they?
where alcohol goes.
Yes, love. But if you start fire at the stairwell, we have to go through fire to get to our person.
I could have Umbra bite their asses.
That plan B. Or simultaneous, whichever one. But we have options. Isn't that right, Argos?
What?
I need you to bite somebody's nuts.
I'm being stealthy over here. What you
when I give signal, you go bite his nuts.
You just violated my cover. That's the first thing you do. Don't do it. I'm over here. I'm fully stealth. No one knows where I am. Why are you doing this?
It's okay. We don't know that you're there.
She turns to fire.
You're talking to me right now. This is like you're talking to me. They all know where I am right now. I don't like this. I'm gonna go over here. You won't know where I am. I'm gonna move my location. You're not gonna know where I am.
That's right, Argos. Stick to your guns.
I don't have any guns. You didn't add any.
You have a microwave gun.
I thought that wasn't working.
Fuck.
I'm so glad I didn't make Umbra able to speak.
So is Caleb.
We just start firing then. If everybody's giving me back talk, like, we just start firing. We start blasting.
So anyway, start blasting. All right, so that happens. All of this plays out. What we see here is over the course of the next few minutes, Sam, you are engaging in this firefight. As soon as you engage, you see Steel's guards respond and shift their position and start to fire back at you. You notice you've been in a lot of fights. You've tussled with a lot of folks over your years. You've been in brawls, you've been in street fights, you've seen organized fighters, you've seen resistance fighters, all this kind of stuff. You've seen random folks who just pick up a gun and try to get in a fight in the heat of the moment. You've seen trained soldiers. Steel's guards are trained. They are skilled. They're not trained to the level of corporate soldiers, but they're not just random thugs that have been hired. These guys have been trained. You see very good weapon control, fire control. You see them using smart tactics to cover each other as they try to move from where you have pinned them down temporarily. So that is informing a little bit about Winston Steele and his troops for you, what you're potentially up against here.
Do any of them move closer to us? And out of the line that we would have to run through fire?
Yeah, they will try to move out into this open area very carefully, like from cover point to cover point, moving against you.
So Sam is going to dive behind the nurse's station that she sent Dog and Bee to, and in one of those kind of like action scenes where she's got her back up against the thing, looking at the two of them across the way, she go, now throw Molotov. You throw now. We move them, now you throw Molotov.
Okay. And she throws one.
So we're engaging in this fight here. I would like to take a moment and just check in with Drall in the Winnebago. Drall, I see you sitting out here with like multiple heads-up displays on your holo screen. The entire interior of the Winnebago. You've got everyone's. Anyone who has a watcher or like a camera or something, you've got that feed. PB is giving you everything he can possibly give you. You see a little bit of a little window where he's talking to Katassi with that kind of stuff. So, is there anything else you are specifically doing or looking for or trying to order people around, or are you just kind of waiting in limbo, watching, seeing what's happening?
I think Drall is steering mostly into what she does best, and that is information. So she is fielding all of this information, trying to process it, push information where it needs to go without any bullshit following it. Just get the orders into who needs to get it. Whether or not, hey, change your plan, that hallway's blocked, go this way instead.
Sure.
That kind of stuff. And just waiting for any sort of quick getaway. I don't know if so I was hoping one of our himbo guys, right?
Joey's nuts.
Yes,
Joey's-
these guys.
Yeah.
Would help drive out. I don't know if they've arrived or anything like that, but I probably wouldn't be speaking to them.
So
They didn't initiate it.
So I think maybe what you have agreed upon with Joey's team here is that they have a couple of different teams, small teams, around the perimeter of the building.
Okay.
It's not like they have other Winnebagos that they're going to be driving. They just have their other vehicles, like the souped up, soaked in neon, super duper sports cars, right? The drifty ones that do things and nitros. I'm so good at describing things, guys.
That was amazing. The
You're good at
nitros, the ones with the
describing it.
wheels,
and the fins on the back and the
paint
headlights.
and
It looked really cool, okay?
And the Vikings.
And the chairs you sit in and the wheels you turn with the keys, the windshields you look through. So they're set up at a couple different points around the perimeter, ready to, when you say, all right, we're going, they're going to peel out and start like trying to run circles around Steel's team's vehicles, distract them, divert them away from the route you're actually taking, that kind of thing. There's a couple of them parked outside the Winnebago where you are right now, and like every once in a while they'll like wave at you and try to say hi, but mostly they're just like two himbo dudes just like duding it up with each other. Like maybe they're doing push-up contests, that kind of thing. They're like wholesome dudes. They're nice dudes. They think this is a blast. They love this. They're getting paid to hang out with their dudes and drive some cars. They're like flexing at each other. They're like, oh, like nice definition, like that kind of thing. They're cool.
What's your split, bro?
Is it expected that they're going to escort us? They're going to be front leading the. Okay, cool. So they already know that it's happening. Then I don't need to talk to anybody.
that's fine.
I'm mostly just going to watch everything, get information where it goes, and send words of encouragement to BB that I don't expect him to respond to, but I send them anyway.
So as as you are communicating with PB through all of this, he's communicating with you as well, like tactically giving you the information, kind of feeding you, because there's that ongoing chat of like as he is like hacking, creating, and feeding information where it needs to go. So yeah, you kind of have this constant conversation with him with everything that's happening. Can you give me an insight check? It would be under determination.
Eight.
Okay. So as you are sitting there in your kind of command station, moving people around, feeding information to where it needs to go, the jellicles pop into your feed, telling you that they have located and are able to activate all of the internal cameras in the hospital, and they're asking you as team lead here if you want them to do that.
Yeah. More eyes are better.
Cool. So they pounce and roll off the screen and give you that information. And what you see here is a new window pops up in your feed, and PB can see all of this, of course. A new window pops up in your feed, and like very slowly you see all of these flicker on to life. 1, 2, 3, 4, like down the line. Kind of like that scene when someone goes into the basement of an office to look through all the hard copy files, and all of the fluorescent lights are like that, but it's the cameras. So you see all these cameras pop on. A lot of them are showing you abandoned, damaged, destroyed parts of the hospital. So you know just to kind of ignore those and filter them out right away. You flip through, you see the firefight that is happening, that Sam and B and Dog have engaged in. You see a little bit about what the Banes are doing, because the Banes are still running around outside, keeping Steele's troops busy. So sometimes you see them through the window or like a door camera or something. They're pretty much doing fine. They're not doing great, but they're not doing bad. A lot of what they're doing has kind of devolved to hand-to-hand combat. So they're like roughing it up with Steele's troops. Most of them are like evenly matched, so it's a lot of fist fights, a lot of hand-to-hand combat and weapons. You flip through the cameras and you find the basement feeds. There's quite a few floors in the basement of the hospital. A lot of them were devoted to, imaging equipment and labs and that kind of stuff. So you're trying to figure out where to start, like scrolling through all these videos. And one of the jellicles, their little cat icon avatar pops up, and they're like, oh, we've got heat sensors as well. So they activate those for you, and you're able to quickly find that there are heat signatures on like 3 floors down in what, according to the blueprints, was the cafeteria. And you see heat signatures of a handful of individuals, and there's no heat signatures anywhere else. So common sense and logic is telling you where to go here. You are able to give that information back to your team and act on it as you wish. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's not it. Immediately. Basement! And that's the message I send. And don't they have Warlock with them, right? No,
he's not. He's around. He can be used. He can be asked to do things and sent on missions. He is not in the firefight right now, though. But if you wanted to give him a job, you could.
Basement. Okay. I need information on. If there's anybody down there that I can't see along the way, or if it's just a straight shot. Unless I can see that on the cameras that I have, which I would think, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
If I understood.
So Warlock is probably utilizing.
So he could go in and fight.
So you, once you know where to go with the cameras, you can immediately pull those feeds up.
Fantastic.
As those come into focus on what's going on, you again see the dismantled, destroyed remains of the cafeteria, however long ago it's been tossed. All of the tables and chairs have been thrown off to the side and broken. There's like evidence where they were used as kindling for fire and that kind of thing. Like you see all the old cooking stations and like coolers for food and vending machines and stuff have all been raided and pushed aside. And in the center of the room, there was kind of like a sunken area. So like all of the food services and where you could eat and stuff was up here, and then there was a couple steps down to where the eating area was. It's just how the building was designed, and down those steps in that area is where you see like handcuffed and chained to some of the central columns of the building, of the floor they're on. You see Mercury, you see Janice, and you see a handful of other individuals, and a few of the guards, a few of Steele's troops standing around.
Immediately upon receiving that information, she's going to formulate a message that says, or send a message that says, confirmed, found Mercury, send in Warlock for interception for opposing team, Steele's team.
Okay. So the firefight is still going on at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
Over your cameras, Drall, you see one of Steele's guards, and this is like a couple minutes later. It's not like instantaneous, but it's not like an eternity later, right? It takes a second to set up, but Warlock's moving quickly. You paid him well. You see one of the guards like react and turn his head like he heard something. And he's like looking over, and then one of the other guards is like, "What are you looking at, man? What's going on?" And you see this happen a couple times, and you're gathering that Warlock is doing the whole like making the noise over there, making the noise over there, that kind of thing. As this is going on, the Jellicles like fix the feed a little bit and improve the camera, so you start to get a better view of what's going on. They kick on the speakers, and it kind of like they crackle and turn on for a second, like, and then in the middle of it, "No, man, I heard something right over there." "No, you didn't. This is just a creepy old fucking building. There's nothing going on." And you get this play of the guards are starting to like argue about there is absolutely something in the basement. Someone is down here. And the other guy's like, no, absolutely not. You hear the gunfire upstairs. Our troops are keeping them out. They're not doing that. No one's gotten through. No one's given us the panic message. No, I definitely heard it. There's something over there. And then one of the other guards pipes up and he's like, oh my God, something just touched my leg. Oh, something walked past. Ah. And then the lights go out. And then like the red emergency lights kick on, and then those go out, and then like one in the far corner, like one little weird light turns on, and it's like it almost looks like a candle or a torch, and then that light goes out, and then it turns on, and suddenly like right behind one of the guards, and there's like this big scary face right behind him, and he like falls over. So this whole scene plays out. It's very it's very Princess Bride at the castle, intimidating kind of thing going on, and you know that this is Warlock. Like you're easily putting together that he is bouncing around the room using whatever methods he uses to start like just intimidating these guards, screwing with their minds, trying to like just freak them out and throw them off balance. Would you have in your contract included like the elimination of these guards from Warlock? Is that a thing?
I probably wouldn't have included that he was to do that. Just
let me rephrase that. Would you have requested a non-lethal takedown with a lethal takedown only in emergency situations? Like, what's the primary instruction you would have given?
I think the primary instruction would have been to intercept opposing forces. I don't think I would have specified, so that's a dealer's choice.
Okay, so then I think at one point, if this is up to Warlock, probably one of the guards suddenly would be like dead and hanging from the ceiling by his ankle and bleeding out, and the other guards are like losing their minds, freaking out about this kind of thing.
Effective.
And so
an example needs to be made.
So basically, we're engineering this situation where the guards in the cafeteria are freaking out. They eventually lose their shit and run. They run upstairs into the firefight that's happening, which they should not have done. So the guards upstairs who are trapped in this firefight are now thinking something's happening from below. So they actually kind of open fire on their own troops, not knowing what's going on. Accidental, things happen in active combat. And then so with Sam, with Bee and Dog being able to collaborate with some, with the continued fire from Mox, preventing any other guards, any other resources from joining, making it worse. We get to a point where the guards have been eliminated, and Sam and Dog and Bee are able to safely descend into the cafeteria, finding, as I described, Mercury and Janice and a couple other folks handcuffed and chained to like these columns in this decrepit, abandoned cafeteria.
That's a full party down here.
I thought you said there was only going to be one person we were there.
Clearly they're collecting people. Should we take them all?
Are these all your friends?
So looking at them, you quickly see that some of the other folks that have been captured are just other DJ troops.
Oh yeah, we're getting them all out.
We're going to need the bigger boat.
We got the Windy Bagel and the Jabronis.
B, what do you remember about Mercury? Vis-a-vis his general appearance.
He's horny and has tattoos.
Yeah. As you enter the room and as you kind of focus on things and see him there, you see that the kind of the ram's horns that he had have been broken off. And there are just kind of really jagged stumps protruding from his skull. He's unconscious. Clear signs of being badly beaten. Janice is coming in and out of consciousness. She does look equally damaged and injured. A lot of her cybernetics have been forcibly removed. She's alive. They're both alive. No one's dead.
Does everybody look like they would be mobile, or are some of them going to need to be carried out, is the question. Like, are there broken legs? Because, like, consciousness we can mess with. We can pump them full of steroids, but... or go fast.
So, quick assessment. None of their legs are broken, but all of them are coming in and out of consciousness, if not fully unconscious. So you may be able to wake some of them up and they could limp out with you. You're not sure yet.
So all of them are just battered then? There's not
Yes.
like one that's looking a little stronger than the rest?
No.
All right.
We're going to need some gurneys.
Yeah. Some gurneys and those big needle things that you shove in people's chests. Wake them up.
Oh, shut the adrenaline.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
I had one of those. It felt like a strike of lightning, but it got me going. I think I have some in this bag over here.
At this point, Samantha like whips out from the backpack behind her and all like that, and she's got them like in between each of her fingers, kind of thing. So combat medics. Gotta love them.
So, with the tools at hand, you're able to either pick the locks or bolt cutter, free these individuals. Are we wanting to shot of adrenaline everybody to try to get them out?
What's the downside?
Could it kill him? I mean, if it doesn't kill him, I mean...
Wow.
Needs must when the devil drives. I just want to know what we're doing.
You ain't
I'm
got to
just
use all
looking-
of it.
Right, exactly. Just a tiny jab of adrenaline.
Just a little bit.
Just to
With the wholesome bodily fluids and the friendly, peaceful Molotovs that we have going.
All right.
Y'all can generate some smelling salts.
We could probably find smelling salts. It is an old hospital.
I meant not.
He said
Ballpark.
generate.
Dog's
All
a
right.
provider.
All right. How about a medical check? Can someone give me a medical check while we're down here?
I have a +1 in medical. If anybody can beat that, let me know.
I have a +3.
Yeah.
You want dog to administer it?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Give me
Yeah,
that
if
medical
you got
Didn't
that-
you just say you were a combat medic?
No, I know. At this point, Sam is standing back, being like, "No, we let the genius handle it. I like this plan." And she's gonna stand by the door with the gun, like making sure nobody comes up.
And we will be
Further.
looking for gurneys.
Further flattering dog. Oh, well, stand back. I got this. All right. Oh, what's this roll going to be? Oh, sugar. That's a nat 1.
Oh.
No!
All right.
You,
Couldn't have gone
That one, he
better.
breaks it before he stabs him.
I might accidentally prick myself with it.
You might have caught a little bit of that juice yourself.
Miss aim.
Stab it into your leg like what
I mean, it's dog.
Yeah, you do the whole like movie thing
Yeah.
where like you come up over your head, but then when you come down, it like hits you in the thigh.
In that case, I'm carrying everybody out of here. My heart's gonna explode.
All right. Let's say this. Through the comedy of misadventures that happens here, we are able to successfully get these folks out of the basement. You have to make a couple trips, but Mox from external is able to keep steel troops away in conjunction with the Banes, in conjunction with your other resources. You're able to get everybody out. You're able to get back to the Winnebago. Everyone's loaded in. And Drall, you give the go code to your driver teams. They rev up their engines. They tear out. They start like shooting off flares from their cars. They're doing like weird drift turns and all that driver stuff that drivers are doing to drive well.
Driving good, drivers.
Again, they're not like driving imitation Winnebagos to try to make a distraction. They are just trying to create so much chaos on the roads that no one has a chance of following the Winnebago. So all of this stuff working in conjunction, you are able to get out of the fringe and you're back on the road. You now have a Winnebago very full of Mercury, Janice, and let's call it 6 DJ troops. Everyone's in pretty dire medical condition. You get kind of confirmation messages from the teams you had hired that, you know, they're out of the city, they've completed their mission, kind of finalizing their job with you, like work order complete kind of thing, So everything is completed. You're on your way driving back to Solace. Is B driving again?
B will be driving again, and taking like the windiest but most expedient way. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going just a straight
shot
line to Wallace, but I'm also going to go as fast as possible because these people are in dire need.
Sure. I think
would
that's
we go
something.
to Solace or would we take them home?
To DJ's?
To Solace.
Yeah, I wouldn't take them to Solace. We take
Should
them.
we-
Take them back to. They got
Probably
better
taking the
medical.
DJ
Yeah, they got better
territory.
medical facilities and stuff like that there, don't they?
No.
They do, as far as we know.
Yeah.
They also got attacked and extracted out of their base, so we don't know.
No. They got hit.
Exact-
They got hit on the road.
Yeah, they got hit.
They
on the
hit.
road.
They got hit outside of their base.
Let's go back to their base. It'll be fine.
Or maybe,
Just
Hold on.
driving in a serpentine
Maybe.
fashion to get them off the trail.
Maybe they want us to go to the dust jockey lair so they can follow and find out where it is.
That's it. We're going to the black site.
We're going to.
That is
What is
so
black
far
site?
away.
They
What
got
is
That
black
last
site?
supplies.
doctor, it'll be fine.
Black site's got a medical bay.
No, it doesn't.
It did.
It did.
But then it was taken over by cyber zombies.
Oh
You know what they say? Nothing heals like nature.
worth it.
It's nice to clean them up. It'll be fine. Okay, jokes aside,
It's also
I
like
need-
8 hours
Where do we take this?
Solace, and you're not even at Solace.
Hey, just
I need
put
to know where we're going.
on the wee woo and the lights, and everybody will get out of the way. It'll take 6.5 hours.
I feel.
Drall,
I don't feel.
where are we going?
Hey, what about them Minetown people with the scary whatnots?
Can they fit everyone in the shaft? Oh,
Well.
no, I didn't.
No, y'all exploded that place. That place was
I'm
detonated.
pretty sure.
How about we go
Dust
to
jockeys.
Dust Jockey territory,
That's the best part.
but not to their lair, to their home base yet, and see if we can get these two over here talking and see what they want to do.
They might have drops or bug out places or whatever in their territory. We could probably use that. Can you guys work on getting them copacetic enough to be able to communicate? Make sure they know they're in a safe place?
I'm just saying, they're gonna want Shreddy and Janice back. Also, Solace ain't got underground layers full of ROVs and tanks and stuff like what we saw behind that wall.
That's might be true, but we also don't know if we are being led to go to the base to show where it is for whoever, like for the people that just took Shreddy and all of the people, or if there's something there waiting for us.
Or would you like to lead them back to home?
No.
No,
Okay, then we go to Dust Jockey territory.
that's I think the safest thing to do. And in addition, as long as they are still allies, it would inform them. They know who's in their territory. So
We
maybe,
do show up as safe on their territory.
yeah.
Nobody
All right.
else does. They do get flagged.
Uh-huh.
All right, so you head towards DJ territory. As soon and like we've established before, the Winnebago has all the maps that Mercury gave you. You know exactly where to go. You know the fastest route to take. You know all the shortcuts to the territory. You zip into the territory. That also gives you a little bit of a sense of safety because you know that, in general, DJ territory is locked down. Like random people don't just drive through roads and end up, oops, we're in the DJ territory. Like those roads are locked down. There's a clear boundary line, and crossing that line, you have a sense of security and safety. As soon as you enter their territory, you see a couple of escort vehicles slide out of the shadows, drive alongside either of you for a brief moment, and then you see that the security communication devices, the transponder that Mercury installed, kind of pings back and forth, and they pull back from like an aggressive position to an escort position. And over the radio crackles a communication, kind of like a call and respond thing, and you're able to tell them what's going on. When you tell them that you have injured people who need medical attention, they're a little bit shocked and surprised. But they lead you to the facility. When you get to the facility, you are immediately greeted by DJ medics, DJ troops. You see two individuals who you may have vaguely seen in the past before, clearly individuals in control high up in the leadership of the DJs. They are shocked. They are completely astounded that you are bringing back Mercury and Janice, and they are in such devastating shape. Like, they don't sit down and talk to you. Like, they grab them, throw them on gurneys, attach medical equipment, and escort them away. But whether or not you are trained in reading body language, you can tell that it's not like they were anticipating this. It's not like they were waiting in the wings of like, we gotta wait for Mercury to get back to take care of him. Like, the fact that you're hauling ass with a beat up boss has caught them by surprise.
As all this is happening, Mox to the group at one point.
Maybe this is old paranoid habits raising their ugly heads once again, but does anyone feel like that was a little too easy?
I didn't even get to use my armor.
Like, no, I know that you all work, like, we killed a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but we all got out there relatively. Are we just that good at planning?
This is the first time we planned.
See, now maybe I'm just
Interesting.
thinking, I don't know, maybe I'm getting up in my head.
Saying, paid a lot of money and planned a lot for this extraction. Y'all shot a lot of people. They blew a lot of stuff up.
Is this what you can do when you have that kind of money? Good.
Well, you can see what the what the plexus do with money. Imagine what you could do if you're using it for good.
As you are sitting there talking, one of the guys who you saw before comes back. He is like very much like an Indiana Jones style desert adventurer, suave, good looking, a little bit like that guy from The Mummy, Brandon Fraser from The Mummy, the good Mummy, not the new one. Comes back in. He has his hand on the back of his neck. He's just like, you see some blood on his clothes from where he had, probably carried somebody for a little bit. He's like, all right, I don't know what happened or why this is happening, or how any of this happened, and that really worries me. But they are in surgery. And I mean, they're alive. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. If y'all look beat, tired, if you want to rest for a little bit, recover, I got like 1,000 things to figure out right now. What do you want to do? What can I do for you? Like, what do you need? And like, clearly this is someone who's like been really shaken, right? Like, he is off his game.
Nice digs.
Can we not negotiate this later once we make sure everybody's alive?
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, everyone's alive. They're not dying. They're not well, but they're hooked up to the equipment. The doctors are working on them. They're in surgery. I'm just saying, like, do you want to sit down? Do you want to take a break? Do you want a coffee? Do you want a nap? Do you want to go home and like what do you want to do, like, right now in this moment, kind of thing?
Oh, I want cheese and grapes and all of the other good grown food you have, and also some of the really nice drinks you have.
Can I have a sandwich?
Yeah, and a sandwich, and we want some answers, but those can come from your managers and your bosses once they wake up on the machines.
Okay, yeah, that makes that way. Yep, food.
Sam
like-
pats
and
her
like-
belly as she walks in and says, "Oh, good, yes. Oh,
So, if you remember from the last time you were in the facility ages ago, like, when you want to go somewhere, the path you need can like light up on the walls and take you to where you want to go. Like, the directions can pop up. So that's what happens. Like a little light pops up and escorts you, shows you what hallways and elevators to take, and you end up in one of the cafeteria eating areas. And you can sit and you can eat and you can hang out for a little bit. And then maybe you've been there for an hour or so. And you all get a message on your glows to come to Mercury's office. And again, the hallway lights up and shows you which way to go.
Do you guys really think that he's well enough to already be in his office?
I do not know this man, but we can find out.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
bringing
so
the cheese.
workaholic.
She picks up the gun.
So you head off. You enter this room. I feel like Galen may have been in this room at one point, but I don't think anybody else was. This is like the definition of luxury and opulence. This is like a thick, rich carpeting, bookshelves lining the entire room, real wood, real books, leather-bound books, small tables and little reading nooks with rich leather chairs. All of the lights are like very warm, natural lighting, even though they're electronic. There's a fireplace. There's a large window at the back of the office that opens out over the big grow facility that you saw all that time ago that you were here. There's a massive, massive desk, more like a conference table. And there's a whole bunch of chairs all around it. A variety of computer equipment, files, hard copy files, even stuff printed out all over the place. Blueprints, plans, maps, notes. There's no one in the room. As you enter and look around, after a brief second, you see the hollow display on the table, on the big giant conference room table desk, light up, spin through a couple different patterns and indicators, and it resolves into a holographic display of Mercury. And this is Mercury as he appeared to all of you prior to the events that have recently happened. So Mercury in his prime, wearing the, button-up shirt, but unbuttoned down to his sternum, the suspenders, the pants, the sneakers, rolled up sleeves. His horns are fully intact. And he's standing there fully realized in this holographic display, and he does like a big stretch, like arms up over his head and kind of off to the side. Oh, all right. Well, y'all might want to take a seat because I've got a hell of a story to tell you. And we will return to that story in January. That is where we will end episode 5. Thank you all in the chat. Thank you, future audiences on the YouTubes and the podcasts. let's say goodbye to our lovely casts, find out who they are, where can they be found, what they're doing, all those good things, starting with Mallo.
If you'd like to hear about all my other escapades and things like that, including all the stuff that we are making here for Identico, you can follow me everywhere at the Mallo Man, except for X, because that is a flaming pile of woo, chow. We're not there anymore. Neither is Humanoid Games or Identico. So find us on Blue Sky or Threads.
Wild.
You can follow me at the Mallo Man on Blue Sky. And, yeah, I mean, I also left the bad place. I am now also specifically on Blue Sky. If you want to come follow me, I am the Wildling. I believe it's the Wildling 011. I'll check. I'll let you know. Anyways, you'll find me out and around. Again, go read books. I think that's what you should do. Go read books and make art. That's all. That's my soapbox rescinded.
Pete?
If you want to hear about my book recommendations and all the cool stuff I'm into, I just started up a new Blue Sky account. It is at the Mallo Man. And
Brand new.
I post a new book review every week. Hold me to that. Make sure you at me so that I stay on it. I'm committed to this. And yeah, have a happy Turkey Day, Americans.
For that matter, go follow me on the story graph. You can also get me the Mallo Man there.
There you go. I'm there too.
Challenge accepted.
Lauren?
I'm all the places at the Mallo Man and also Thousand Faces Cosplay. So both. I'm struggling internally, but I'll get there. So anywhere you consume media, Thousand Faces Cosplay. I'm also 95% Lauren. And yeah, I want to go read books. That's all I got. Thanks for being here, and I appreciate you. Do something good for yourself.
All right, Ethan, bring us home.
Like Lauren said, you can find us at Thousand Faces Cosplay, pretty much everywhere, including Blue Sky. Also on TikTok as The Buff DM, and we have another actual play podcast called Go Buff Yourself. And today, part 3 of Mothership dropped, a sci-fi horror game, and people are going a little crazy in the game at the moment. It's fantastic. So check that out if you need more things to listen to while you're folding laundry.
And once you folded the laundry, put it away. It doesn't take that much longer. You'll love yourself after. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can. I am on your socials at VCalebG. You can find me right here for all things Identico, here and there with Farm to Fable, and taking up a lot of space in the archives of the RPG Academy. Speaking of which, barring the collapse of society, AcadeCon 2025 has been confirmed for November 7th to 9th in Dayton, Ohio, 2025. More details as we continue to work on that development, but save those dates. That is it for today. We will see you in the cyber future for another cyber game. Good night. We love you. Take your megs, eat a snack, drink of water, touch some grass, take care of yourself, stay safe. Eat some good food this week if that's a thing you do. Enjoy any time off you might get. Be with your family, your found family, your made family, whatever it takes. And remember, no one is free while others are oppressed, and we will see you next time.
Mwah.